Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome to a brand new episode of Pressing Matters. This is episode 21. I am your host, Daniel Torres. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. And you guys are going to get some real good content because I have gone today to the Ballers League. It was being hosted right here in Miami at Tropical Park. They turned one of those horse stables in the park into Ballers Arena. And they took out all of the dirt from the horses and they put turf and made it into a own little arena. They had seats. They had AC blasting in there. They transformed it pretty good. But you guys are going to be getting some good content on social media and YouTube Saturday. So look forward to seeing that and checking out what it looked like inside the Ballers League. If you guys didn't get a chance to go, obviously I Show Speed, if you guys know him, very well-known streamer. You've got Odell Beckham Jr., you've got Ronaldinho, a lot of big names managing in the Ballers League or even playing in the Ballers League. So fun time. You guys not going to want to miss it on Saturday when we drop the video. But anyways, let's get into our agenda of Pressing Matters. We're going to start, as always, now that we are in Major League Soccer season. But before I get into Inter Miami, this was not in our rundown, but it was breaking news yesterday, and it immediately needed to be addressed. Africa Cup of Nations. Senegal, Morocco in the final. Senegal won, but that ruling has been reversed, if you can believe it. So we all know that Morocco was awarded a penalty in the match, and the Senegalese players didn't agree with it, and they all decided that they were going to walk off the pitch because they disagreed with the ruling from the referee and VAR. And they're now saying because Senegal and all their players walked off of the field means that it's an automatic disqualification, automatic forfeit, and the trophy will now be stripped from Senegal and given to Morocco. And Senegal's response to this is they are going to appeal this. My thoughts. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. You're telling me that, it's been like a month, I think, or even more since this match. And you're telling me that it took you this long to go into the rule book and determine that because all the players walked off is disqualification. It took you that long to figure that out and to say something? Granted, they were probably just thinking to themselves, man, how are we going to do this? How are we going to deliver this news? This is going to be news that it's going to shock the world, stripping someone of a title. Yeah, I got to go with Senegal. I agree with Senegal appealing this decision. Granted, I don't think it's correct what they did. I think that just because you disagree with a call, which however, outrageous the call might be, you just don't leave the field. I just wish someone would have said earlier, maybe after the match, even during the match, a day after the match, hey, you guys all walked off the field. That's automatic forfeit disqualification. But they have let this go so far, so far, that I think everyone had forgotten about this match already, and they're like, okay, yeah, Senegal is the champions of AFCON. this is going to be a whole legal process, I think. It would be very just crazy if they're quick to deny Senegal's appeal. But for me, yeah, they should have done this a lot faster. You're telling me you didn't know the rules, or someone just read the rule book now, and or someone came up to them and like, hey, this is the rule book. Check this, guys, check this out. And they're like, oh, wow, yeah, that's in there. Yeah, we got to do something about that because they did walk off the field. It's bogus. Absolutely bogus. And I feel bad for Senegal because, I mean, you think you're the champion now for like a month or two. And now we saw in this week's Champions League match at Real Madrid, Manchester City, Brahim Diaz, who plays for the Morocco national team, was sitting on the bench when somebody told him, hey, like, Morocco has been given the title, like they stripped Senegal, and he didn't know about it, and he started smiling, and he was just gave a thumbs up, and I'm just like, my God, this is terrible. Very, very terrible. But yeah, I disagree with the decision to do it so late. I'm not in disagreement of doing it at all. I think if they would have done it earlier, I would have been okay with it. Because again, you don't get the right just because you disagree with a decision from the referee just to walk off the field entirely. I mean, in a way, you put yourself in this position. You asked for it. My problem is doing it so late. So that's my take on that. Let's get into Major League Soccer now. At the weekend, Miami visiting Bank of America Stadium, taking on Charlotte FC. There was no Messi involved in this game. They were resting him up for the second leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which we're going to get into. Let's take a look here at the stats and the lineups. So for Miami, they lined up with Rios Novo in goal, Frey, Lujan, Allen, Reguilon, Ruiz Ayala, Silvetti, Morales, Pinter, and Suarez up top. Charlotte, Colina, who's been a fantastic goalie for them, Byrne, Agivan, Ream, Tofolo, Bronico, Westwood, Zaha, Beal, Abada, and Toklomati. So, which, by the way, I just saw a video with Zaha the other day saying that he doesn't want to say anything, but like he doesn't know how long he is going to last in Major League Soccer just because he's getting absolutely destroyed physically every match, getting kicked, and there's absolutely no foul, no card, but then if he does something, he gets a yellow card immediately just for talking to the referee. And that was an eyebrow raiser for sure. I definitely think that the refereeing in Major League Soccer, as the kids say it nowadays, is a little bit sus. I will say it's not the best. There is really some controversial decisions there, even some favoritism towards Miami, I will say. But yeah, he made a comment like that he doesn't know, how long he'll be able to, sustain playing in Major League Soccer. Talked about all the pills and painkillers that he takes just to be able to get out on that field to play for Charlotte, and all the massages and taping that he's got to do and physical therapy. He says no one sees that. So very interesting comments from Zaha. I mean, we look at the statistics here. Charlotte, 5 shots on goal. Miami with 3. Shot attempts, Charlotte with 11, Miami with 10. Fouls, 16 from Miami, 12 from Charlotte. Yellow cards, 3 for Charlotte, 2 for Miami. No red cards. Corner kicks, 5 for Miami, 3 for Charlotte. And saves, 5 for Miami, 3 for Charlotte. In possession, Miami 55% possession, and Charlotte 44% possession. I'm not gonna lie, it was a boring match. And if you want me to be honest, I think Charlotte could have won. I think Charlotte had opportunities and chances to put the ball in the back of the net. But right when they were there, they would just screw it up and fail in that final third. And I was telling my dad yesterday, I was like, the difference of going from watching Champions League soccer to then coming back to the MLS and watching MLS, it is crazy difference in the skill. I mean, you're right in front of the goal. Charlotte had about 4 to 5 chances, and they couldn't do it. They could not do it. And for Miami, I mean, I think I really liked seeing Daniel Pinter out there. I think he played very well. He's a young talent. I really enjoyed him. I'm still on the fence about the goalkeeping position. Rocco Rios Novo, I mean, he's done well. I mean, from last year, I think that he deserved his starting spot, to be honest with you. But obviously, they made a splash in the offseason to bring in Dayne St. Clair, former MLS Keeper of the Year. But this year, it's been rocky, it's been shaky. And when you put Rios Novo out there, I mean, he's still kind of in form that we saw throughout the MLS Cup playoffs last year. So I'm right now, I favorite Rocco's Rio Novo over Dayne St. Clair. We need to see better from St. Clair, to be honest with you. But they come into this Charlotte game after the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup against Nashville, which was a 0-0 draw in the rain in the Music City at Geodis Park. That was another boring game. Nothing going on there. You come into this Charlotte game. Charlotte had more opportunities and chances to win the game. It was another boring game that ended up in a 0-0 draw. So Miami just picks up a point on the road. Obviously, the people were going to say, oh, we didn't have Messi on the field. My problem right now is this squad has nothing to offer when it comes to attack. You can tell, again, as I said previously in other shows, that missing Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets is really hurting this team. Obviously, when you get Busquets out, you kind of replace him with Ayala, and I mean, it's not on the same level. No offense to David Ayala, but not on the same level. Trying to figure it out. I mean, those two players were the players that had the connections with Messi. And right now, I think Messi's in this uncharted territory where he doesn't really have anybody to connect to. I mean, they bring in Germán Beterrame, which, again, I get it. There is a grace period of like he's trying to mold into this team. Didn't have much time in the preseason, but he has squandered opportunities. Still hasn't scored. Really hasn't, shown out. Which leads us into the match last night. Right here at home, it's supposed to be the last ever game at Shea Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, second leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Now, we can throw it back a little bit here and remember that at the beginning of this year, before preseason even started, Jorge Mas said that this year that they retooled, that they were not going to let up on the gas, that this was a team that was going for it all. This was already a new project, and that they spent money in this offseason, and that their main goal, and I want to put end quote, their main goal of this project was to win the CONCACAF Champions Cup. End quote. Those were his words. So we enter this match, pouring rain in South Florida yesterday and throughout the evening. And Lionel Messi gets the first goal, his 900th career goal, puts Miami up 1-0. Miami was the much better team at the beginning of this match, and it just looked like the beginning, the way they were playing, looks like Miami's going to run away with this at home, and they're going to send Nashville packing once again. Let's look at how Miami lined up. So St. Clair in goal, then Mura, Lujan, Mikael Reguilon, in the midfield, De Paul, Bright, Segovia, up top, Messi, Allende, and Beterrame. And for Nashville, Schwake in goal, Nahad, Palacios, Wodelski, Lovitz, Corcoran, Yazbek, Espinosa, Mukhtar, Madrigal, and Suric. And so it was the 7th minute, very early in the game, is when Messi picked up that goal. And we look at the stats here in this game. In possession, Miami 59% possession, Nashville 40%. Shots on goal, 6 for Miami, only 2 from Nashville. Shot attempts, 10 for Miami, 5 for Nashville. Fouls, 11 for Miami, 13 for Nashville. Yellow cards, 1 for Miami, none for Nashville. No red cards. Corner kicks, 5 for Miami, 3 for Nashville. Saves, 5 for Nashville, 1 for Miami. And now you see these stats and you think to yourself, okay, well, what seems to be the problem? Looks like it was all heavily favored towards Miami. Yes, but it's almost like a Spain game, right? You see a lot of the ball. There's a lot of passing going on. There's a lot of shooting from distance and outside the box, but there's not much other than that going on. There's a lot of passing to the back. Again, like I said, no creativity in the offense. Aside from those opening minutes when they came out the gun quick and Messi's 900th career goal, it died down. We went to the halftime 1-0. We come out and Nashville starts putting a little bit more pressure. Hany Mukhtar, who, man, I love Hany Mukhtar, but he had chances in front of goal as well. Didn't really do anything, but in this second half, he starts to put a little bit more pressure. We know that Mukhtar is a very dangerous player. He's a former league MVP. We've got the ball, coming over the top. They start to play through the top to find Mukhtar and show the speed. And my problem, again, with this club since its inception is the defense. The defense for this team, for me, is just always stagnant, always in foul trouble, picking up cards, not fast enough, leaving a lot of space. And that started to open up here in the second half of this game. And then in the 74th minute, lo and behold, there was a moment where, I forget the two players, but they foul each other. They run on the same side, same team. They foul each other, take out Sinclair, who still was able to get a hand, on the ball. They were asking for a foul on Suric because they think that Suric was the one that made them collide. And then right up when, St. Clair hits the deflection, makes the save, there's 3 Nashville players waiting in the box. Christian Espinosa takes it, lines it as hard as he can, right into the back of the net, and they tie this game 1-1. In the 74th minute, Miami's going crazy, asking for VAR, going to the referee, and then we see in replay that Suric was just there. Suric didn't do anything. It was 2 Miami defenders that run right into each other, and from running right into each other, they run right into St. Clair. It was just an embarrassing moment for the defense. So they get this game 1-1, and now here's the thing. A lot of people are going to complain now that, that rule's so stupid. They took it out in Europe, which they did. I don't like the rule anymore. I hated that rule back in the day, especially in the Champions League. But unfortunately, CONCACAF hasn't changed it. It is what it is. This is the rule. So because the game was 1-1 and Nashville scored on the road, at final whistle, if it's still 1-1, Nashville goes through on the away goal. And so Nashville just says, all right, we got our goal. We're just going to sit back now and just defend for our lives. And pretty much from the 74th minute all the way to the 90th, that's what they did. Miami could not find anything. And the final whistle goes. It stays 1-1. Nashville goes through to the quarterfinals, the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And Inter Miami is eliminated in the round of 16. And the project that this club had focused on and destined that this would be their tournament to focus on now after winning MLS Cup last season, it blows up in their face in the very first 2 games, in the very first round that they play in this tournament. Javier Mascherano, after the match, excuse me, says that this was not the player's fault. It's totally on him. And I'll be quite honest with you guys. I mean, he keeps forcing Berterame to play, who had another great chance in this game to score after Miami was already up 1-0 and couldn't do it, squandered it right in front of the goal, one-on-one with the goalie, and keep forcing him to play. You know, again, what is not broken, don't try to fix it. What worked for him in the MLS Cup playoffs that got them to this championship game and winning the league title, he has now reverted back to what was not working before that, and I don't know why. Could it be because Berterame is here now and they spent big money for him in the offseason? They must play him. Could be, but it's not working, and a lot of people are upset and blaming Mascherano for this, and they felt just embarrassed that they came out and said that this is what they were going to focus on. This was their project. Coming into this season, and they're sent home on the very first round, and only through 2 games. They score 1 goal through 2 games. And again, this is a team that's lacking creativity. It's lacking attack. So it's going to be very difficult for them. Now they don't qualify, at least to my knowledge now, they don't qualify for the next FIFA Club World Cup. So that's big for a club that prides themselves on being global and wants to fight for every institution, every trophy, every title, and as well as Copa Libertadores, which Jorge Mas is wanting Conmebol to invite them into. This is a big hit to that as well. If you can't win CONCACAF Champions Cup, how are you going to go into the biggest South American tournament and try to compete? So with that, that's enough for the Inter Miami talk. We're going to go into the UEFA Champions League. We have our quarterfinals set. We're just going to go over the results from yesterday. So, or in the past 2 days, should I say. Real Madrid 2-1 over Manchester City. City tried to mount the comeback. Real Madrid was the one that scored first off of a penalty. Bernardo Silva seeing a red card, setting City down to 10 men, which honestly, it really took a hit to their confidence on the hopes of a comeback in front of their home crowd at the Etihad Stadium. His hands were behind his back, and he kind of does a chicken wing out to block the ball. Went to VAR, penalty. Vinicius Jr. gets his revenge on City, puts in the back of the net to put it 1-0. Haaland equals it with a tap-in, 1-1, and then Vinicius quiets the crowd again with the second goal late in the match, and puts Real Madrid in the quarterfinals. And then we've got Sporting Lisbon and Bodo. Oh, man, how did I want the Cinderella story to continue for Bodo? It looked like they had wrapped up the tie in the first leg, but Sporting Lisbon with an amazing comeback, 5-0 over Bodo, 5-3 on aggregate. Sporting Lisbon is into the quarterfinals. And then we have Arsenal and Leverkusen. Arsenal 2-0 over Leverkusen, 3-1 on aggregate. They're into the quarterfinals. Chelsea never stood a chance at Stamford Bridge. They really didn't against the defending champions, Paris Saint-Germain. 3-0 at the Bridge in London. And 8-2 on aggregate. An absolute thrashing. I know that PSG wanted to make a statement after the Club World Cup final where Chelsea defeated PSG. And I think the French club wanted to say, no, that's not happening again. We're the defending European champions. And we want to make sure that we make it known why we're the defending champions. And we're not going to let Chelsea come in and beat us again. Barcelona and Newcastle. Well, Barcelona woke up. Their 0-0 draw against Newcastle on the road was a little bit disappointing for Barca fans, but back at the Spotify Camp Nou at home, they definitely woke up. 7-2 on the day, 8-3 on aggregate. Barcelona's in the quarterfinals. Atleti They lost Tottenham 3-2 in this second leg, but go in on aggregate 7-5. They're into the quarters. Bayern put up 4 goals against Atalanta, making it 10-2 on aggregate. They're into the quarters. Liverpool was the second comeback of the day, 4-0 over Galatasaray. Their comeback is complete, and it's 4-1 on aggregate. Now, here are the quarterfinals, ladies and gentlemen. Real Madrid is going to be playing Bayern Munich. And listen, I will tell you my final. My predicted final in a reality world would be Bayern facing Arsenal. Just from talent and team perspective, I know Arsenal tends to choke, but that's what I think it would be. But I can't count my team out. I mean, Real Madrid is one of these teams when it comes to Champions League. I mean, I didn't even think they were going to beat City. And look what happened. They're one of these teams that's just magical in the Champions League. They flip a switch. So I still have Bayern favored, but if Real Madrid goes through, I mean, I'll take it. I'll be a happy man. Sporting and Arsenal. I'm going with Arsenal over Sporting Lisbon, PSG, and Liverpool. I think that would be more tricky. They had a phenomenal fixture last season. I think it'll be a lot more tricky than people think, but I'm going with the defending champions. And then Atletico de Madrid, Barcelona. We all saw what Atleti did to them in the Copa del Rey semifinal. Will Barcelona get revenge, or will Atleti, who I think is a well-coached team, even though I don't like Simeone, I think it's a well-coached team. I think it's a team with a lot of talent and grit, as Atleti's teams always are. I'm going to go with Atleti over Barcelona. And, those are the quarterfinal matchups. They're taking place starting April 7th and April 8th, and then the return leg, second leg, April 14th and April 15th. So keep an eye for that. Ladies and gentlemen, La Finalísima between Spain and Argentina. Unfortunately, folks, to tell you bad news, the Finalísima has been canceled. It will not be played, and it is because, obviously, we cannot play in Qatar because the current ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Spain offered, and UEFA was on board with it, to play in the Santiago Bernabéu, and obviously Argentina said no. They wanted to play in the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, and I don't know what happened with that, but that didn't go through. So it ended up being that the fixture will not be played. I heard Lionel Messi was a little bit disappointed in it. They are now both countries focusing on scheduling fixtures, coming up now in this international break. But it was disappointing. I wanted to see that match as well. And I obviously a little biased for myself, Spain. But I'm like, Argentina, you guys, don't want to play in the Bernabeu. You guys scared? Are you guys scared? You guys won the World Cup? I know Spain right now is the number 1 world ranking, but are you guys scared? Doesn't matter. Go in there. Show why you're the best in the world. So what was up with that? A little scary, huh? But yes, the Finalísima will not be played this year. I wonder if they will push it back. I mean, we got the World Cup coming up, so I don't know, maybe after the World Cup, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's time for our Team of the Week. Our team of the week is Newcastle United. Even though they were just eliminated in the UEFA Champions League to Barcelona, we look at the Premier League. They took down Manchester United 2-1. Obviously, yes, they lost to Man City 3-1. But then they come into that tie against Barcelona, 1-1 draw. Late into the game, they come back and tie the game against Barcelona. And then they play Chelsea in league play and beat Chelsea 1-0. Right now, yes, Newcastle is not sitting in a Champions League position. They are in 9th, but to beat Chelsea, tie with Barcelona at home in the Champions League, and to beat Manchester United, those are a great run of form games for Newcastle United. And they're a young team, and they can show right there that they can definitely fight with the big dogs. So that is why our team of the week is Newcastle United. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this episode of Pressing Matters. You've been watching Pressing Matters, episode 21 on the Plug Talk Sports Network. For myself, your host, Daniel Torres. We hope you guys will have a great upcoming weekend. Enjoy soccer, enjoy league play this weekend. The Carabao Cup also is happening this weekend, the final. It's going to be a great match at Wembley. And, of course, we thank you for your support of all of our shows here on the Plug Talk Sports Network and just supporting our platform. Appreciate it very, very greatly. Stay tuned to all of our social media and all of our shows here on the Plug Talk Sports Network. And we'll see you next week for a brand new episode 22, coming at you real soon. Enjoy your weekend. God bless.